story, surge prices continue to singe flyers. Even as domestic airfare cools off slightly, prices continue to be exorbitant. And now a report has come forth which says India tops the chart when it comes to domestic airfare hike. Now, as per a report by Airports Council International, there has been a record jump by 41% in the domestic airfare. The report goes on to highlight that domestic airfare started climbing up from September 2022 when the government removed airfare caps that were imposed during the pandemic. All right, let's go across to my colleague Shweta and Ishika, who are joining us live on the broadcast. Let me begin with Ishika first, who's reporting from the national capital. Ishika, please help us understand what the people of Delhi are essentially saying and how they are impacted by these soaring airfares.
Well, yes, as we have been covering on the Mirror now extensively, how the airfares have in fact soared for the past few days. And, even after the Union Minister's intervention, there seemed to be no relief for the common man here. I have few people with me. I'll go across to them. So I want to know first from you that where have you come from? What was the airfare, that was charged to you? And do you think that it has increased?
I'm coming from Chennai itself. The fare charges was like 6,300 only. And the charges are bit high, I guess so. Because for the lower middle class family, it is a dream to travel in the airplane itself.
Now, the aviation minister says that, after his intervention from June 6, there has been a drop of 14 to 60% in the airfares. Do you think that matches the ground reality here?
I don't think so that is matching the ground reality here.
So, Ashna, even I have one more person with me. I'll go across to him. Sir, where are you coming from? What was the airfare that was charged to you?
I've come from Pune, and the airfare was around 9,000 from Pune to Delhi, and Delhi. My evening flight is from Delhi to Pune. It's cost around 13,700.
That too for an economy class.
Yeah, economy class. I think the fare is too high right now.
So, sir, you also have traveled to, Mumbai as well,
Yeah,
which
Mumbai
is one of the busiest. What do you
It's highest than the Pune.
How much was it?
Last week it was around 22,000.
22,000. So, sir, this we have also been reporting on Mirror now, and now, in fact, the data has come that shows that, in fact, the airfares, the domestic airfares have only risen. Now, the Union Minister says that after his intervention, the airfares have dropped. Do you think, that this clearly does not matches the ground reality and it's the common man who's suffering and some solution should be brought in by the government?
Actually, as compared to the last week, the price has been reduced little bit, but it should be little bit reduced more down. So the more the common person can travel by airfare.
So normally, how much should the airfare?
From Pune to Delhi, it should be around 5,000 to 6,000.
So it's almost the double.
Almost the double right now.
So, as you were hearing the voices here from the national capital, the people here say that the airfares have in fact doubled. So definitely that certainly impacts the common man here very badly. And, the government goes on to claim that after their intervention, there has been a huge reduction in the airfares. But that certainly does not seem to match the ground reality here. So definitely the government also needs to, step in so that the common man, the Aam Aadmi here, gets some kind of relief. Over to you.
Absolutely, Ishika, please continue to stay on with us. Let's also quickly get in a word from our colleague Shweta, who's reporting from Mumbai. Shweta, how are the people of Mumbai impacted by these soaring airfares?
Well, absolutely, Ashna, talking about the soaring airfare, we are seeing that indeed the passengers are in trouble and their routes are not decreasing anytime soon. As we go on the ground reality, while we talk to the passengers, they have one thing to say, that still they are waiting for the moment that the airfare should drop down to the normal. This is not the normalcy range what they have been witnessing from past few months, and hence we are showing this relentlessly, like how passengers have been suffering since months now. While I was talking to some of the passengers, they have stressed on few points. Now talking about some routes which are always high. For an example, from Delhi to Bangalore, few passengers have stressed on the point that these routes are always expensive and they are waiting that certain routes, the prices should come down. Apart from this, we are also seeing that, however, the government has said that we have stepped in, the intervention has been done from our end, and we have also said to the airlines to self-regulate the airfares. But on ground, this is not the reality. What we have been focusing so far is that the passengers are still believing that the sigh of hope for them that the prices of the flight tickets should come down so that this do not hamper their budget, and the frequent travelers have this worry that if this continues, it will become more troublesome for them in the future as well.
Absolutely. Shweta, Ishika, many thanks for joining us and also bringing us those voices from the ground. Right, and my colleague Tamanna spoke to an aviation lawyer, Saros Damania, on the report released by Airports Council International on India. Listen in.
Of course, the report is also out, and of course, market-wise, statistically, India is doing pretty well. The aviation market after the COVID has seen the biggest boom ever. So, of course, the airlines here are earning drastic profit. Of course, if the flights are going full, if there is travel, if people want to travel more, so there is a boom. But as, of course, we've discussed earlier, so the price rise, which today what we are seeing here today is for the first time, it is a unjustified price rise. Of course, there might be market demand. There is one of the factor being Go Air shutting down, little less competition being there. But these airlines are putting on more routes. Their DGCA is allowing more slots of Bombay-Delhi routes, which were for Go Air, have been given to other airlines. So there are slots and routes which have been given to them. And the flights are almost full. It is not that the fares are higher and flights are not going empty. So the passengers have to pay more. Passengers are paying more because they have no other choice. So the passenger is in the end between the government regulating the sector and the airlines wanted to make their, of course, there has to be, of course, COVID phase was there, you made loss, it's all right. At that point of time, also government also supported the airlines by putting a minimum fare cap and a maximum fare cap. So at that point of time during COVID, airlines were also protected and the passengers were also protected. Now today what we are seeing is that the DGCA or the civil ministry is doing nothing to protect the passengers who are being exploited by this unjustified.
So what do you think the DGCA should do? What do you think that when you're saying that they're doing nothing? So let's get down to brass tacks. What do you think the DGCA should do? Because the minister, for example, in a series of tweets has talked about everything that has been done so far. So go first, some of their routes have been given to other airlines. Conversations are on with airlines. He says there's been between a 14 to 60% drop. We showed you where that 60% drop was. We've charted it for you. It is on the Delhi-Leh route. But is that enough? What more would you like to see, and what should be done, Saros Damania? Let's be specific.
There is Twitter coming out on Twitter, making statements, giving press statements. There is something more than, there is no circular or there is nothing as of concrete as a circular come out from the aviation ministry. If there is something they feel that they have told the airlines and the airlines have agreed to do this, let there be an official document come out. By why is there no circular or why is there not official press release that has been released by the aviation ministry stating that yes, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4 things which you have done.
And even as the middle class pay through their nose for airfare, political bickering over flight prices erupts. Now, Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has hit back at the Congress and claimed that there has been a considerable decrease in the flight prices after the government's intervention. Now, this comes after Congress's K.C. Venugopal's fresh rebuttal, saying that centre's hands-off approach on airfare has failed to curb predatory pricing by airlines. All right, shifting focus.